What's up, everybody? It's Jon Schnepp here, and you are watching Comikaze All Year Long. We're here at the stream.tv, and we've got a great show tonight. We are basically prepping everyone for this year's Comikaze, and it's going to be running from October 30th to November 1st at the LA Convention Center. A lot of amazing guests and incredible artists are going to be there. And let's just throw right over to our very first guest that we've got, especially right here from LA. It's Jenna Busch. What's up, Jenna Busch?
Hello.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk right. Let's just get started right into League of Leia.
Legion of Leia.
Legion of Leia. I've said it wrong right off the bat.
It's all good.
What is it?
It's a website that I started. It actually came out of the original Star Wars casting. When the first announcement happened and there was one new woman and 7 new men, I was having a little discussion with a friend in a bar about how that's maybe not cool. So I started this website and I wanted to promote and support women in sci-fi. Now, the whole thing has changed with Star Wars. I mean, the casting, obviously, there are some amazing kick-ass chicks in there. So I'm really, really excited. But we do news every day. We've got a podcast that we just started. It goes up on Thursdays, and I'm very excited about it.
Right. It's like you've got some books you're writing about psychology, right? How'd this get started?
Okay, well, Dr. Travis Langley is an editor for this series of books, and they started with Walking Dead psychology. And so I have co-authored chapters and done sidebars for Star Wars Psychology, which comes out October 27th. It's on Amazon. You can pre-order it right now. Well, that was not a plug
That was an excellent plug. I'm down with that plug.
But so I co-authored the chapter with Dr. Janina Scarlett, and who writes for Legion of Leia. And I have one for Game of Thrones psychology and one for Star Trek psychology, and there's a few more that haven't been announced yet.
Right on. Now, Legion of Leia, that has exploded. You were telling me before the show started, like, how many employees do you have right now? People are working for this woman nonstop. It's a machine. It's a creature.
We've got like 17 writers, and they're all absolutely incredible. It's been mind-blowing. I've worked for about 25 different sites, but I have never run one before.
Right, you were rocking Hugo, then you worked with Stan, with Cocktails with Stanley.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, I do Huffington Post and IGN and all that, and I'm tired. I don't sleep.
She doesn't look tired, though. She looks pretty sprightly,
all
right?
Makeup.
She is a robot, ladies and gentlemen.
I am a robot.
Well, let's get into some topics.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about the X-Men Apocalypse. A lot of fanboys got all sweaty and got nervous and weird when they first showed Apocalypse. Now, they were calling him Ivan Ooze because he was purple.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, relax, everybody. There's just some pictures. And then this picture that you just saw right up on the screen popped up a couple days ago. Now, a lot of people are saying they think it's fake. You know, I know Keith has got some opinions on this. I'm going to ask Keith to chime in a second. But what are your thoughts on this this picture of Apocalypse that popped up online?
It's better. I hope it's real, because I sort of feel like he's got that Thanos thing where he just kind of looks silly. Mm-hmm. There are certain things that don't translate well from comic books to screen. Not that everything needs to be dark, not everything needs to be black leather outfits, whatever, but some things just don't translate. You can't quite do it the same way. It does look better. I want it to be real, but I've had some major issues with a lot of the costumes. Okay. I love the last movie. I'm excited for the movie. It's just the costume design I'm not on board with.
So you don't think clown makeup translates into creepiness? Or?
No. Well, no, that's not true. I have a problem with clowns.
There you go.
I can't.
I love creepy clowns, and that's what Apocalypse looks like, a creepy clown. Keith, is it real or fake? What do you think? Keith Tralins, he's the CEO of Comikaze.
Hello, world. Nice to see you. You know, I am a huge X-Men fan, and I love the Apocalypse storyline. And I'm convinced that this is all a plot, a marketing ploy, and I think we're going to see the evolution. And I think that first photo was a young Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And I think what they just released is going to be Apocalypse in all his badass glory. So I'm actually extremely excited for it.
Yeah.
So basically, he started out as like a fresh grape, and then he shriveled into a raisin?
Well, no, but
or plumped up into a big blueberry.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, there's no Oompa Loompas to roll them out. But think about
that's right.
Think about what we saw at the end in that after scene shot, right? He was real thin and was
frail.
And so that's where I think we're going to see a really cool evolution. I think that's all that was.
I personally, my own opinion is it's just a low angle and they color corrected. It's the same exact makeup because I was like, because people were saying it's totally different. I totally love this new Apocalypse, and I was like, hang on a second, nerds. So I got all up close. I had the microphone or the magnifying glass. I was like, yeah, that's right. That's the same makeup.
I
think
kind
it
of
is.
agree with it. Could be because I did makeup for a lot of years and it doesn't look particularly different. And you can change so much stuff with lighting.
And color correction in post with our digital technology. They're like, highlight that weird little clown rim job. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
oh, that's so creepy. The other thing is everything. Brian Singer just keeps putting picture after picture after picture online. Like by the time Days of Future Past came out, I felt like I'd already seen the movie.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe we put fewer things out until they're ready. Just an idea.
I just love it when they ruin the entire movie in a trailer, right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
That's the best part. Hey, I feel like I saw all of it in 2 minutes. Knock it off! Cut it out! We want to see the movie already. Stop showing us everything. All right, next thing, a good trailer that didn't ruin the whole movie was the brand new Jungle Book. Now, this is Jon Favreau and like 7 million insane digital effects artists over at Disney kicking the living crap out of every computer, because basically this was shot in a warehouse with boxes.
Oh, yeah.
And the tiger's head was a weird orange ball. Whoever this kid is going to win an Oscar because he had to act with
he's
invisible
incredible.
stuff.
I interviewed some of the cast backstage at the D23 Expo,
Nice.
and the kid is, I'm not a huge kid person. The child was adorable.
So you talked to the kid.
I talked to the kid.
He's not
He
a
was
CG creation.
No,
All right.
no. And I talked to Ben Kingsley, who said that one of the cool things about doing this was that he had the kid right there. So it wasn't like he was in a room doing a voiceover.
great.
He actually was there with the kid. And he hadn't seen the footage until D23. I saw it backwards through a screen because I was backstage in the press room. But this trailer, oh my God.
Right, so you saw the D23 footage, which actually has Ben Kingsley talking, and at this you only
Yeah.
get a little flavor of Scarlet, but you saw the extended version. You saw Christopher Walken.
Sort of.
Right.
I was back, so there was this tiny little room that they had in the back with they'd march all the press celebrities through, and so I saw the back, so everything was backwards and there was no sound, so I did not actually hear.
Ideal, perfect viewing experience, ladies and gentlemen. Backwards
Absolutely.
with no sound.
Yes.
Hey, I would have done. I would have like scrimped in to get that
In
flavor.
a room with no air conditioning.
So I know everyone, if you haven't seen that trailer yet, check it out. It's online. It's incredible.
Oh my
it's
God.
visually stunning. My jaw was dropped when I first saw it this morning.
Yeah.
So
I might have drooled.
yeah, I definitely full drool. I had a drool bucket. Just throw that out. Keith Tralins, ladies and gentlemen. I want to. What's going on over there? You're like, what's up, man?
You know, I am here to talk a little bit about what we've got going on with Comikaze. I want to tell the folks about how this is going to be an incredible show. Hi, everyone. My name is Keith Tralins. I'm the CEO of Comikaze Entertainment, and I live and breathe for Comikaze. I work very closely with Regina Carpinelli, and we have been working really hard, and I got to tell you, we are so excited about this year's show. All right, there's lots to talk about. Let's start off with some talent updates. Now, in addition to some of our previously announced film, television, and comic book guests like Mark Silvestri, Sam Jones, who's red hot off of Ted 2, Mike Mignola, Rich Buckler, and so many more, we are thrilled to announce a very special guest. Dita Von Teese is coming to Comikaze. Now, how about that, right? America's pinup girl. She's returning to our floor. She had so much fun last year. The crowd loved her. She's amazing to meet, amazing to say hello to. She's really interactive, and if you're lucky, incredible to get a photo with. Believe me, this is one photo you are going to want. Now, also in addition to Dita, we have Walter Koenig and Nichelle Nichols, two of the stars of the original Star Trek, coming to the show. If you like Star Trek, do not miss this opportunity to meet these legends. They will be signing autographs all weekend long, and they are amazing. And of course, we have other talent like Finn from Adventure Time, Jeremy Shada, Tim Bradstreet, Yuri Lowenthal, a whole Power Rangers pavilion, and we have so many amazing celebrities that you will not be disappointed, and we have a lot more to announce that I'm chomping at the bit to tell you. But Regina told me I can't, and so I'm not going to. Okay, so next up, we have our cosplay contest. Now, in previous years, we've been one of the largest competitions in the country with more than $10,000 in cash and prizes being awarded each year. But this year, we are really stepping up our game. At this year's show, we are thrilled to announce that we will be hosting the Cosplay National Championship. Yes, now not only do you get to win cash and prizes, but we will have a very nifty trophy for the winners to boot. We have 3 categories, Master, Journeyman, and Juniors, only open to cosplayers between the ages of 13 and 17. So all you youngsters, get in there. You are not going to want to miss seeing the best of the best square off on our Hot Topic main stage. But that's not all. We are adding a whole second competition. Are you ready for it? the Prop Making National Championship. Yes, all you prop lovers and builders who've had to enter cosplay competitions to show off your incredible work, now you get your chance in the spotlight alone, with a chance to bring home the hardware and capture the title for your work and craftsmanship and some great prizes. And all the props are going to be on display throughout the show leading up to the competition. So it's a great chance to showcase your work. We'll have 2 categories, a judged prize and a fan favorite, so make them good. Now, the rules and entry forms for entering the Prop Making National Championship are online, now at comikazeexpo.com. So please get online and register if you want to compete. Space is limited. We're almost already filled up with it. Entry to the Cosplay National Championships, because it takes so long to make the cosplay, it's already closed, sorry. But don't miss the show. Now, of course, this year's show includes Halloween on Saturday, and we are so excited to be bringing back our cosplay ball at Club Nokia. Now, it's free. Yes, free to all 3-day and Saturday badge holders, and it is going to be incredible. The show is hosted by none other than Bernie Bregman. It's going to feature live musical performances from the Flux Capacitors, along with DJ Cosmic Ray. It's going to have some very special guests, including a performance by Makeout Monday. We have a nerd burlesque review and a few other surprises that I'm not going to tell you about, but you are not going to want to miss them. For those of you who made it in last year, you know how fantastic this party is. If there's any place in LA to be on Halloween night, it's going to be at our cosplay ball at Club Nokia. Unfortunately, the show is 18 and over, so for all of you kids who entered into the junior competition, you're going to have to go celebrate at home. Exactly. Now, if you like Halloween, we are the place to be on All Hallows Eve. I know everyone says, oh, it's Halloween. I always have a Halloween party. I always go out. Well, first, listen to this. We are bringing back LA's ultimate trick-or-treat. We have bought literally 1 ton of candy. I know, because I had to arrange for the shipping. The bill is huge. It is over a ton of candy, and it's going to be up for grabs to young trick-or-treaters in the safest, most well-lit trick-or-treat experience you could ever hope to find. Nothing bad is going to happen here. No razors in the apple, just every 10 feet, more candy. Now, we're also going to have the kids costume contest, which is so much fun. It's fun to watch, it's fun to be in, and that's also for 12 and under. And it will all be done in time for you to make it home to your regularly scheduled Halloween nighttime activities. Although, if you're smart, you'll be coming to Club Nokia for our cosplay ball. Now, we've also got some amazing attractions this year, lots of stuff, but I want to talk about a very special booth that's being created by the makerspace Vocademy. They'll be doing craft demos. They're going to have a slew of backgrounds for cosplay photographers that you get to pose in. They're going to have a green screen experience where you can put all sorts of cool stuff behind you. And they are bringing an incredible TARDIS that you are not going to want to miss. This is not like any TARDIS you've ever seen before at a convention. This is a space where you can really get your hands working at a convention and build stuff and learn how to do stuff. And we are thrilled to have them. Now, that's just a taste for what we have in store for you. So please keep checking our website, comikazeexpo.com. Sign up for our newsletter to get weekly updates, and keep watching this very show for more news about Comikaze Expo. And we will see you Halloween weekend, October 30th to November 1st at the LA Convention Center. Sounds pretty good, right?
Sounds really exciting. Yeah.
All right. John, are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to have a booth there, and I'm pretty sure, I'm just figuring it out with Keith right now, we're going to be screening our documentary film, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, in a really big auditorium. All you nerds can come see it, and we're going to talk about it. So I've gone to every single one of these Comikazes. First as a patron on the very first one, then I got a booth on the second one. I'm so happy to be a part of this. It's a great convention. If you haven't checked it out yet, and especially if you live in LA, what's wrong with you? This is one of the funnest conventions that you could possibly go to, especially over the Halloween weekend. So definitely, I expect to see you guys there. So hopefully you'll be there. You know who's going to be there too? A good pal of mine, a crazy, mad, incredibly talented artist. His name is Chase Conley. I want to introduce him, have him step up, and let's talk about what he's up to right now. Chase Conley. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Yo, I think everybody should come out to applause like that. That's kind of cool.
I know, right? It's pretty fun.
Yeah, man, I'm down with it.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Working hard. You know how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chase, I think I met you, what, like 5 years ago or something?
I think it was, 2011, something like that.
Yeah.
The time flies really fast.
So Chase came on as like the lead character designer of Adult Swim's Black Dynamite, and he just killed that job so well. Every single one of his drawings was on point. Even the ones that he threw away, all of us were like, let me have that. I don't know. You don't want to be throwing that away.
I'm okay with
taking
this
his scraps. Is like, the guy is mad talented. So of course, and when you get someone that crazy talented, like he popped off and did a couple drawings for me for Grim Fairy Tales, my cartoon that I raised money on Kickstarter for, and then you went off to do work at ADHD for the Fox's brand new animation adult domination, whatever that whole, what's that whole thing
Animation
called?
domination high definition.
High definition.
There you
I never
go.
got that
ADHD.
part. Yeah,
Yeah.
ADHD. I know. I got that part, but what
Yeah.
does it stand for?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's
It
it.
stands for a bunch of letters.
Yeah,
but
pretty
what
much.
does it also stand for is you got to direct some amazing cartoons. You
I
directed
did.
Axe Cop.
Yeah,
You directed
man.
Major Lazer.
Yeah.
And when I'm saying he directed it, this guy is such a beast. He knows how to draw the female figure and the male figure incredibly well, and he does action. Like if you like anime, he takes the American influence of anime and applies a little bit of the
A little bit of fun to it. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
all
think
the great houses,
There you go.
Madhouse, all the
Exactly.
different houses.
All of my inspirations, throughout my entire childhood, which was really I was an eclectic guy. So it's a wide range of things. I kind of throw them into the stew mix and see what comes out.
Yeah, percolates in Chase Conley's crazy brain for a minute, and then he's
Absolutely.
up at I became friends with him because we were the only mad people who were there until 3 a.m. Remember that? I'd be there working
Deadlines,
on
man.
crazy sound design shit, just you'd hear people screaming from Metalocalypse. I'd walk over to him, he's drawing a comic book at 3 a.m. So we would just talk about all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. So it was always a blast to be working with you. Now what do you do?
Currently working on, I think, the series finale, Ultimate Spider-Man for Disney XD. I think after 4 seasons, that's going to be over now.
And now you expanded. You were like, look, I've been directing. Now I want to get back into just the mad part of the story.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, managing people is one thing. I think that it's tiring for different reasons. For me, it always has to be a healthy balance between drawing and the other sides of the creative kind of process.
Sure.
The thing about directing is you're responsible for people's schedules and what they got to do on time and delegating tasks.
Like a lot of people, let
that.
me say this. A lot of people think directing, how do you direct a cartoon? I want to snap people's necks when they ask me that because it is so much work. People
Oh
don't
my
understand.
God.
They think, you don't do anything really. And it's what he's talking about is true.
Mm-hmm.
You are in charge of every aspect of the production, the script, the recording, the animation, the editing, the designs, the background designs, the character designs, how that's all composited together, how that's edited together. And so that's why I get it. You're like, I had a little bit of flavor on that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Let me get back to that drawing and having that. Wait till you see the crazy stuff that he's busted out for the Ultimate Spider-Man. You can't really talk about it.
I can't, but it's gonna. I like
He
it.
showed me, and I could talk about it. I'm gonna get him fired. It's too late. He's
Yeah,
done with
man.
the job.
No, it's cool
I won't
stuff.
say anything. It's amazing.
Yeah,
He
it's cool
showed me a
stuff.
couple of the hallway sequence and some really amazing stuff. So he's pushing the boundaries of what you normally get with a kid's animation. Because you love the characters.
I
You
mean,
love
that's the thing
Spider-Man.
too. Especially with some of the Marvel stuff. I was a Marvel head growing up. I always identified with, especially the X-Men, which
Right.
most people do. I mean, you always you have that one mutant that you kind of relate to.
Storm with the
because-
Mohawk. Who's your favorite?
Dude, oh man, Storm with the Mohawk. What are you asking me?
No. I
Is that my
threw that
favorite?
out. I said that's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
From
Oh,
back
okay,
then.
from that era. I gotta say, man, when I was a kid, I thought Gambit was really cool. I don't know why, because he's kind of I don't like him that much now.
Throwing cards.
Yeah, I like Storm also, but I think Storm with the Mohawk, it was a little bit before me. She had already kind of just
He's trying to say I'm older than him.
Yeah, I
get
mean,
it.
just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. But no, I think Gambit was my favorite, man.
Right.
I identify with his roots in the South, me being from the South.
Definitely.
Also kind of having a very unorthodox kind of appearance compared to the rest of them.
Sure.
The appearance, you know what I mean? So
the
that's
trench coat, yeah,
Trench
this whole
coat, yeah, man,
different
that's
look,
cool.
yeah.
Anybody in a trench coat is
Yeah,
cool. He smokes
instantly
cigarettes.
badass.
I was a kid, I was like,
Yeah.
yo, this dude smokes cigarettes.
Yep.
Like, this
Hanging
is-
out on Bourbon
you know what I mean?
Street, getting into trouble.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It sounds cool. It's cooler than Cyclops. He's sitting in the crib.
Got that deck of cards. I could make the door explode.
Exactly.
you know?
Cyclops is disgruntled.
Yeah.
Where's Jean?
Yeah, how come Jean's dead? Oh, she's dead again? Get out of here, Summers.
Exactly, man. And he had the weird, they all had the weird kind of cut off top where the hair was out.
Right.
But it looks cooler when there's a trench coat kind
Right,
of
he's got
covering
that
up.
extra thing.
Yeah,
so,
another layer of something to go through before you get to the corniness, I guess. But it's all good.
Real
though.
life, then corniness.
Yeah, there you go. Boom.
Just hide the corniness.
Segue, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about some stuff. Here's some more interesting news. Before I get to this news, I want to introduce Stephanie Pressman, who is holding down the fort online. So if you're watching this online right now, you could write in the comment section, and in a little bit, she's going to be taking questions from the best questions that you guys throw in. Stephanie, what's up?
Hey guys, we've got a few great people in the chat. We actually just had someone that Andrew Nicholas Noah Fletcher said, if Schnepp could direct an animated miniseries based on Transmetropolitan, that'd be great.
Damn, this man is smart. No, I would love to do Transmet. That is such a great storyline. I mean, personally, I want to do a Machine Man animated series. But hey, if somebody was like, yo, here we got Transmetropolitan, I'd be like, I'm doing it. That's one of my favorite series. Smart dude, whatever. You
Yeah.
got a long name, though. I'm not going to.
Andrew.
Andrew Blahimi.
Andrew.
Thank you.
Also, guys, make sure you're chatting because we're going to be giving away tickets to Comikaze to those that are chatting and asking questions. So if you want to come to the show, it's an easy way to do it.
All right, let's get into some news here. So we got Idris Elba, and a bunch of people are saying he's too tough. He's too much of a thug to be Bond. And Patton Oswalt was like, yo, man, that's the whole idea of James Bond. He's supposed to be a cold-blooded killer that they then take in and be like, now let us direct that freakish killing rage towards these targets. Chase, what do you think of Idris Elba as James Bond?
I mean, for me, Daniel Craig was running through walls in the first movie. You know what I mean? I don't know how much tougher you need to be. Like,
Right, they had that first chase scene.
Yeah,
and
man,
it's crazy.
It was the nature of it, especially with that Bond. Starting off, to answer your question, that Bond brought the physicality to the role, which you need to be James Bond. I mean, Pierce Brosnan, I mean, he looks pretty and stuff.
Right.
Yo, man, I'm beating Pierce up. Like if I see like
Remington Steele.
Yeah, if he don't have like the laser watch or something like that,
Right.
come on, don't come at me like that. You know what I mean? So I feel like Daniel Craig actually added like a little bit of believability to the fact that James Bond does all this crazy stuff.
Yes.
I also feel that on any given day, you talk about in terms of sex symbols, Idris Elba existed as a sex symbol before Daniel Craig was a sex symbol, which is what the Bond role did for him.
Yep.
And it's like, you're too tough. I don't understand. I don't know too many people that are more smooth than Idris Elba. I mean, he's got the English accent. I mean, he's definitely a
His
sex
role
symbol.
in The Wire, he
Dude,
was so
Stringer
badass.
Bell. And
Stringer
people
Bell.
think about that, like, for me, that really kind of epitomizes like that niche market that he can fill because he's believable as an intelligent guy.
Yep.
But also believable enough because of his physical stature that you think that, he can handle himself. You know what I mean? He's older now. He doesn't seem as if, some of the suave, in almost wisdom that kind of James Bond kind of pours, in terms of his charisma. It doesn't seem far-fetched. So to me, it was really weird that he felt that way. I don't know if it had to do with, them substituting, what was the adjective he used?
Thug.
Thug.
Right.
I guess that's pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
Street.
if thug, street.
Street.
I don't know if street means something else or if it's just like, he just didn't see that. That's not what he saw in his mind's eye.
Right.
So, we'll see. But to me, it just seems really weird to think that because I think that if anybody, there was public outcry for him to be James Bond.
Yeah.
For years now.
Yeah, way before it even became
Exactly.
something.
Exactly.
Before Spectre was even getting shot.
Yeah.
People were like, when Craig's done, give it to this guy.
Exactly. So it was weird that, he thought he was too street, but the public who's going to purchase this tickets to this film feels otherwise. So
Well, we'll see who's going to play James Bond in the future. Now, who's going to make Akira? Everyone's talking about Christopher Nolan, his secret project in 2017. He announced it. It's a Christopher Nolan untitled project, one of those where everyone wants to know what he's going to do, and everyone's going to go see what he's going to do. He's just got that name right now that you're interested in what he's going to do next. Now, all of a sudden, we hear he's meeting about the script with Akira. He's talking to maybe the directors, maybe the producers. Nobody knows. This rumor mill's going around. What if Christopher Nolan directed Akira? What do you think? Coming from the manga, from the one of the most amazing animated movies put to screen yet.
I was really off put by the fact that I thought that they were going to make it generally. I guess this was going back maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago or something.
When Leonardo DiCaprio was talking about Neo Manhattan.
Come on, man. Like, for me, there's a few things. The story in itself, being, heralded as probably the most influential manga, is about Japanese nationalism. So first off, it's like a testament to the audacity of Americans. Like, yo, we just gonna make this about New York. Yo, this is what we gonna do. So it's weird to me. That already is strange. However, I do kind of get the fact that, you need to get the budget to do a film at least remotely close enough to be any kind of justice to the source material. You kind of need a big name director.
Well, you also, big name director, big name actor who's a global actor.
Yeah.
So that's why those things happen that hey, why are we only picking from these 4 people?
Yeah.
Because those 4 people are the only 4 people who've opened big everywhere
Absolutely.
around the world, and we live in a global community now. So that's one of those things. Until other stars from other countries start popping off and globally opening, which will eventually happen. It's just going to take a little bit more time. So, I mean, you know what? If Nolan does it, my only fear with Nolan is he's a little bit too real.
Yeah.
I love that he shoots everything practical. But it's like, it's almost sometimes a bit confining, you'd think. I mean, I loved Inception. Dark Knight Rises was not my favorite. Yes, I loved Batman Begins. I loved Dark Knight even more so. And then just the way Dark Knight Rises kind of petered out a little bit, it felt like, at least for me, an unsatisfying ending. I know a lot of you fans are like, it's blasphemy, Schnepp. Dark Knight Rises is amazing. Well, you can fight it out on the chat board and tell me why I'm wrong, because I'm right. So, what do you think?
I don't know. I think that, you know, it's always kind of like I'm split. Because being an animation guy, and I know just how high the level of storytelling you have to have knowledge of, and have a handle on and be able to execute to be in animation for that matter. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of guys that can make the transition. However, I don't know. I think that it's better for somebody well versed in dealing with high budget action films in a live action space to handle it. Now, I think that Christopher Nolan can probably ground it. I think if anybody can ground it, because it needs to have that street level feel. But Akira gets big real quick.
Real big.
You know what I mean? It's huge in scale. And that's my only fear. Plus, I kind of just don't want them to do it. Because for whatever movie they do, this is a movie that has influenced a generation, 2 generations, if not 3, of people. And it's almost the Roger Rabbit of Japan. You know, like Roger Rabbit, all those guys came in. Once Roger Rabbit was done, they all went off to become like amazing talents on their individual basis. Same thing with in Japan. You know, all these guys went off. They started their own animation houses here and there. And it's like, yo, you're not gonna make a movie. It's not gonna be as influential as that. And so I'd rather them not do it, you know.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but
I'm a little butthurt about
Keith,
it.
what do you think about Akira?
You know, the moment I saw it, there was one question that I'm just trying to figure out. Who the hell is Michael Caine going to be? That's really
He's going to be the giant teddy bear that's like slowly, or he's the guy behind the asteroid when they're like, Tetsuo! He's like, let's say a little different, yell a little softer, mate, and then he'll be like, Tetsuo! Yeah! That's Michael Caine. Do you want to chime in on Idris Elba?
Other than, you know, look, I could watch Idris Elba in anything. I absolutely adore everything he touches when he's on screen. He's magnetic, and if he's James Bond, it'll bring me back to the theater. You know, I have kids. I don't get to the theater that often, so I don't really go to the James Bond movies anymore. But Idris Elba, I'd be there.
Have you seen Luther?
I have not.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good, man.
Especially the first season.
Yeah,
it's just incredible.
Dude, that's James Bond right there. Just put a suit on him and give him an Aston Martin.
He's got the trench coat, too.
Boom.
Bam. Instantly cool looking. If you haven't checked out Luther, that's still on Netflix. You can check that out. Netflix is what everybody watches. I need to Netflix and chill and watch Luther.
Exactly.
Stephanie Pressman.
Yes, sir.
What's going on over there?
We've got a bunch of people in the chat chiming in. People are really excited for Akira, and there's some differences going on about Christopher Nolan.
Right.
But
I want you to tell me about Vanaheim.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this month I got to go to Vanaheim Studios and check out the place and just run around. And I recorded a little video of my fun times there. So why don't we go ahead and check that out right now? Hey, so I am here today at Vanaheim Studios to learn all about the facilities. There's some really cool artisans that are working together and doing some really fun things. So we are going to take a look at all of that, and you get to come along.
Basically, what we've done in the studio is we've combined a bunch of companies that can handle design and development, production, pre-production, post-production, photography, costume and wardrobe, props, sets, combat, performing of any kind you can imagine. And the whole purpose of the studio is to create like a creative community around the studio and allow artists to really do all the really great things that they want to do with no limitations. All over the studio, everywhere you look, we like to really tell the story of creativity. And we want all the artists that work here, we want all the clients that come through here to really feel all the different steps in the creative process and to really feel comfortable in this really great creative environment. So I use the word creative a lot because we are really, really creative. So we produce stuff for product development, television, movies, books, pretty much any kind of media or creative content we try to work, and it just keeps things really lively and fresh, you know, to do work in so many different areas. So we have Easter eggs kind of all over the building from my career past. So we have, like, this is a little mouse from Coraline. This was from Terminator 3. That's from Starship Troopers. We also have some stuff from Star Wars. This is from Beowulf. This is from Mars Needs Moms and Galaxy Quest. This was actually used in a Small Soldiers trailer that was never released. There's some guns from Pearl Harbor. Some of this stuff is just here because I think it's fun and I make it. Yeah, these are all props from Nightmare Before Christmas. So this is the Spiral Hill. Nightmare Before Christmas was actually the very first feature film I ever worked on.
That's so awesome.
So, yeah, it's super, super exciting. Because we spend so much time in the studio, you'll notice this is a very fun environment to be in. We believe you can work hard and have fun at the same time. So we try to make the creative environment here entertaining. Because we spend a lot of time here, basically, is what it comes down to.
So I guess my question, Fawn, is are there any jobs available?
Absolutely. Conveniently, our reception desk is a bar. And it has beer on tap and then a liquor cabinet as well. Actually, did you know that Pixar has the highest per capita number of bars of any motion picture studio? We want to follow in the footsteps of great production companies.
Awesome. So that is it here at Vanaheim Studios. Make sure you check out all these really great artists. Check out Fonco and Castle Corsetry and Iron Shield Arms and Vanaheim as a whole. I will be back with another piece next time. Stephanie Pressman signing off. So how cool is that, right?
Pretty cool. It's a lot of stuff.
They're making really awesome projects over there. And you can even go take classes in sword fighting and stage combat and all that cool stuff. It's
really cool.
Super awesome.
Vanaheim, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of Vanaheim, something completely unrelated is our next guest, Jennifer Zhang. She works over at Twin Galaxies. Come on over here, Jennifer. Yeah. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be here.
So what do you do over at Twin Galaxies?
So I'm the head of programming over at Twin Galaxies Live, which is what we call a 24-hour video game culture network. We broadcast like a number of celebrity appearances, also a lot of personalities playing video games.
You do a show, Comic Book.
Yep, the Comic Book Show, which is the one exception to the video game criteria that we have over there. The Comic Book Show is a 2-hour live interactive show about comic books. And every Monday, the edited versions of those episodes get posted to Stanley's World of Heroes. So, you know, not too bad.
No,
it's
it's
a lot
pretty
of fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where do Twin Galaxies come from? It reminds me of King of Kong. Why is that in there?
So prior to us becoming Twin Galaxies Live, we were actually something called Leet Lounge Live, the gold standard in tongue twisters, right. Which was the same concept, except Jace Hall, who had grown up, he's the CEO of the whole company, had grown up, you know, heavily immersed in video game culture. Twin Galaxies, which is the official video game scorekeeping entity of the world, was something that he really, you know, held like up on a pedestal. And when he started this channel, he had told us when we first started working there, he was like, "I'm gonna acquire Twin Galaxies," and we laughed at him. And then he acquired it, and then converted us to Twin Galaxies Live. So Twin Galaxies has this 30-year. Am I doing my math right? 1980 was roughly when it came into being?
Yeah, something like that.
This massive legacy in the world of video games and in competitive video games. And you know, now we bear the honor of that legacy, and so hopefully we're not doing it a dishonor.
I know the show. Well, at least the comic book show they do is great. I was on that. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely.
They've got a giant video game that's got 1,000 video games inside of it.
It's got 6 terabytes of video games in it. Like, it's the ultimate game machine. It sits right in our lounge or lobby, whatever you call it. Getting any work done near that machine is near impossible. It's 600,000 games for across every console, every system ever. So
I would just be fired
massive.
After the first week because I'd be like, I can't stop playing kicks.
But what if it was your job to play on it sometimes?
If it was my
Then
job
you'd
to
be
play
doing
on
an
it, then I'd be
amazing job.
rehired,
Right.
fired and rehired. As long as
And
very fun place.
That's how I keep my job. So
Good way to get fired.
yes,
Yeah. 'Cause
yep.
They're like, oh, we still need them. You're rehired.
Right.
So what have you got going on right now?
Well, before my foray into live broadcasting and becoming the director of this network, which is a brand new endeavor for me. I was mainly a filmmaker, producer, and so I've got a film now in development that I'm doing kind of in, at the same time, which is rough, but rewarding and a challenging thing. And earlier last year, I had released a nerd album. That's that.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Versus, Jennifer Zhang Versus.
Nice.
And it's all original nerd music, all nerd stuff themed. We had I keep saying we as if I'm multiple people. That's weird.
I'll correct it. So you, basically, you had what?
The single off of it is Batsuit, and we did this. I did it again. That's amazing.
It's okay.
I did this music video for Batsuit, which is just about, it's about Batman taking off his Batsuit. And the feelings that evokes.
Now, who
the
perhaps
feelings.
was wearing, who was wearing that batsuit?
Oh, okay. Well, oh man, he's gonna kill me if I say. I probably can't say.
All right.
But my boyfriend, who makes batsuits for for clients and for himself, lent the suit to the production. But he also, I know, made a special suit for your production.
That's right. Matthew Hiscox, thank you so much. Matthew actually not only made the Superman suit for my recreation scenes for my film, The Death of Superman Lives What Happened, but also acted in it. So when you see the film, you'll see like he's in several different scenes, and that's actually her amazingly talented suit-making boyfriend, Matthew Hiscox. Thank you, Matthew. And you worked on the set with us, so you helped out. Thank you so much.
I was the suit wrangler because to get into those things is not easy. And I really have to thank you. That was like probably one of the highlights of his entire life, being able to do that for your amazing documentary.
No problem. Don't worry about it. No, we really thank him so much. Let's talk about Force Friday. So Force Friday, if you guys don't know what Force Friday was, it was when they released all the crazy toys for Force, basically for Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So they've been hyping this film for so many years now. It's basically Episode 7, and I, being old enough to have seen Star Wars as a little kid, and The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and then waiting 17 years and getting Jar Jarred. I have that fear about getting suckered into buying these toys again. Like, don't Jar Jar me, JJ. Do not Jar Jar. So I've got that fear. But then Kylo Ren looks so cool.
Yes.
The trailer, that second trailer, not the teaser, but the second one made a grown man cry. That was me.
Yes, absolutely.
And then every other man on the planet was crying like a little baby.
Yep.
Chewie, we're home. Stop it! Sensitive, crying. Regina, I know you cried too. Don't lie about it, Regina. Everybody was crying, fetal position when they showed it.
Absolutely.
And why? It's because they went back. Somehow they did the promise that they promised all of us back when they finished Return of the Jedi. They said, oh, we're going to do 3 more, and then we're going to do 3 more after that, and that's going to have all of them when they're older. And now all of them, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, they're the exact age without makeup. Yeah. That's what's freaky. Imagine kids in 10 years, when they watch all of these in order, they're going to be like, that's the best makeup ever.
Yeah.
How did they make Luke Skywalker? It's like, because it's real.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just,
age.
I mean, and that's why it has to be good. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's talk about the toys. So I was like, they're not suckering me. And then I saw Captain Phasma.
You have no money now, basically.
Believe me, I was tight. I was like, yo, you're not getting me. You are not getting me. Then they came out, and I did get Captain Phasma and Kylo Ren because they just look so cool.
Did you get a little rolly ball?
No, I'm not. That's a cat toy and a dog toy. It's a very expensive $150 toy. I've got friends that I've played with. They're little BB-8 and like rolling it around, but I'm like, I got cats. Thing will get torn apart. So
immediately.
What do you think about it? Made $1 billion. Keith, you want to tell us what Force Friday $1 billion? Did you buy any there?
Right here, and it's a female action figure, and I was very happy about that. That was the right move. I actually think this stuff is great. I've been playing with this stuff for a week now. I haven't even worked. Just been playing toys.
See, the power of Force Friday affects all of us.
You know what the proper Star Wars thing to purchase now is Hasbro stock. That'll do you.
I don't believe in the stock market. I collect comic books. That's my personal stock market. Guys, you know that's the greatest stock market in the planet Earth. You can buy them now for $1 or less.
But
everyone's selling their comics for $1.
I can certainly understand the craze over toys. I'm a huge toy collector myself. The question is, do you think any of these are going to be worth anything given 10 years.
That does not matter at all. I say you open that toy
I don't
and
know
you
why
play
you're
with
being
it.
so entrepreneurial.
Yeah, no,
about it.
I got suckered
Yeah.
into that in like 96, 97
why
when
you
they
get
started
two.
re-releasing all the Star Wars toys, and I was a grown man and I hadn't bought toys, and I was like, oh my God, I actually have money now and I could buy toys. So I bought a bunch. It's like that buying back your childhood thing.
Yeah.
I got a bunch, like 5 Ben Kenobis. Why? Why did I get 5 Ben Kenobis? I don't know.
One
How
to
many
play
Jake
with.
Lloyds as Anakin Skywalkers do you have? That's
None.
the real question.
0.
Smart man.
Yeah, because I didn't get suckered by that. I didn't get jar-jarred, yo. You know, when I saw The Phantom Menace the very first time with a bunch of Star Wars nerds, I remember looking down at my theater seat, and I was like, I can't believe I'm bored in a Star Wars movie. They're talking about taxes and Federation. I was like bored out of my mind. I loved the lightsaber fight at the end was cool with Darth Maul, who said 2 words and got cut in half. The movie sucked. So I didn't get, all my friends were like, wasn't that amazing? I was like, shut up, it's horrible.
You
So I was
never-
that guy, the downer, that I just had to go home. I was like, I'm downing everybody.
I've got the story for you. I'm not going to tell it now, but I will tell you the story maybe even later here about me with Star Wars Episode 1. It's heartbreaking, crushing.
Or you should have just make it very personal. Tell all the fans. Now they were going to.
All right. Well, you remember that line that formed 30 days before outside?
Sure.
I was on that line.
In the Grauman's Chinese.
Outside Grauman's Chinese. I was there 30 days. I was there on day 1 with my buddy Dave Schwartz, and I slept out on Hollywood Boulevard for that movie. And I'm not kidding you. 4 days before the premiere, I get a call from my buddy Ken, who says, hey, I got tickets to the press screening. And I had camped out.
Ooh.
And now I can go see it before the premiere. And I said, well, how can I not go? So I had to go. I went. And everybody, the music, everybody, I'd never seen a press screening with the press being so inappropriate and cheering.
Right.
And at the end of it, nobody would make eye contact. Everybody was just eyes down, and like we all walked out of the theater in Westwood, like, oh.
Nobody yelled yippee like little Anakin.
Nobody yelled yippee. And then 4 nights later, I had to leave my job early because I was bringing these people to the Grauman's screening, and we went in, and you could feel the energy. And I was just sitting there, and my buddy said, what are you so upset about? Like, why aren't you excited? And I said, dude, this movie sucks, and you were about to see
Roger.
the largest group of people be devastated. And what made it worse was I had left my job early. I had said, oh, I'm not feeling good, because I had to be there at like 2. And so I left, and one photo. So I was like, hey, can I take a photo of you? Sure. I was next to a blue guy who was giving out video games. I get into work the next morning, and my boss is sitting there like, oh, how you feeling? She holds up the front page of the life section of the LA Times. And who do you think is there but me? So yeah, episode 1 kind of ruined my life.
You should have told your boss, yeah, I felt really sick, and then someone gave me a free ticket to the Phantom Menace. Made me totally better. That's why I'm at work today.
I hadn't taken improv classes at that point. That was the answer.
Well, that's a good story. It doesn't bum me out. Everyone felt that pain. Everyone felt that pain. So that's why that can't happen again. All these people sweating out buying Kylo Rens and Skimby Skims and Chubba Chubs and all these other weird names that they come up with, like while they're half asleep or in the bathroom. I don't know how they come up with these names. Loads Marambo. Yeah, I took that while I was dropping a load. I don't even know what the names are. But I like Kylo Ren. He's from the Knights of Ren. That sounds cool. Everything about it sounds cool. All the pictures I've seen sound cool. I've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm going to see it.
As am I.
And I bought some toys. I got some Phasmas. I think that carrot. Who would have thought just taking a stormtrooper and making him look like a phantasm ball would freak everybody out? And it's a female.
And nobody else thought of that.
I know
Not a
no one
single
else.
cosplayer spray painted chrome.
No
At least
one.
not that we've seen, right?
Yeah, no, never seen it before. And now you're going to see a lot of Phasmas, and I think it's cool. I like the name Captain Phasma. I think I like Kylo Ren. I'm bought into it now. So just at least be good. That's what I'm hoping. So everybody bought these action figures. Let's go and move into some other action figure world. It's called Captain America Civil War. They've already shown us teams. You got Captain America with Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, of course the Falcon, and the Winter Soldier. I guess they're chums now. They're gonna have to catch us up with that. What happened with that? And then what's the other team? Show us Iron Man's team. So we got that is
Vision,
Machine.
Black Panther,
yeah, and a Vision and a
Black Widow.
yeah
and
Black Widow. Wait, wasn't Black Widow? Who was the other person on Captain America's team?
Quake, right? Sky.
Was that Scarlet Witch?
No, that was Agent.
Oh, no.
Was it Agent?
Oh, that was Coulson. Or no,
No,
not
no,
Coulson.
Maria
Agent
Hill.
13.
Right.
No, never
No, not
mind.
Maria Hill. The other one. The one that was in his apartment. That was his
Oh, okay.
neighbor.
Oh, that's
Sharon
right.
Carter?
All right.
Sharon
Oh,
Carter.
wow,
That's
okay.
it. There we go.
Man, I got suckered. I was like, she's on
No,
both
me
teams?
too. I was right there
All
with
right.
you.
What do you think about this? Who's going to win? Is this team even for real?
Well,
Are
we
they just
know
going to like
who's
shake
gonna-
hands? Are they really going to fight?
Well, we know how it ends if they're going with the faithful comic book.
That is not happening. They're not
No,
killing
yeah,
Captain
no,
America.
no.
Like, look, and even if they did, no one's going to believe it. They already killed Coulson with a giant
Right.
shiv in the fucking.
He's not coming
come
back
on.
from that, no.
It's not.
Yes,
he's
he
not.
did.
And then he's
That
alive
was
in
my
Agents
show.
of Shield.
Yes.
So forget it.
Exactly.
No one dies. Loki
Yeah.
died. He came back. Who else died in every single movie? Somebody dies and comes back. So they're not going to waste.
Not Thor's mom. She's apparently dead.
I
for
know,
real.
and they should
may-
not have killed Frida. She was awesome.
They
He
should
may
not.
still kind of die at the end of this movie, though, just to remain faithful.
I hope they kill
No?
Tony Stark. That would be awesome.
No.
That would be weird.
See, here's the thing. I'm on Team Stark
Right.
for personal reasons. Tony Stark is all about. He's Mr. Bells and Whistles,
Right.
Mr. Firepower. In this particular conflict, he's going to be the might means right dude, and Captain America's whole like idealistic stand up for your morals philosophy. And
You mean America?
Yes, being very rigid in it. America in like a 1950s, 60s kind of way.
Hey, look,
I'm
he's,
not
he's,
about
he's
that.
with the times. I think Tony Stark's a jerk.
No,
I think Tony Stark
Tony
is very.
Stark is
He,
with the
he comes from
times.
his ego. He's ego based. That's why he created.
Well, he's
I'm going to
alcohol-based.
put a shield around the world. When everyone else is like, why don't you relax and let us figure it out? Ultron.
But there's got to be. I mean, there's got to be respect for the protocol guy, like the firepower guy. I don't know. He's at the end of the day. Can you argue with all that
Dumb ego
firepower?
versus awesome, wholehearted
But
American
confidence.
Pie, like super good dude that you would
on.
want him to protect your parents.
Confidence and
Tony
ego.
Stark would try to sleep with your mom.
Fine. I would high five her. Confidence and ego is
All right,
in my
I
head.
can't argue with Jennifer. What do you think, Keith? Save me.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, I want the side that is for the side that wouldn't agree with Kim Davis. How about that?
I think that that's both
That's
sides.
both sides.
Both sides. Both of the
Should be
both
all
Tony
sides.
Stark
Go
and
both
Steve
then.
Rogers would devastate Kim Davis. She's an idiot. So we all know that. Anyone watching knows that Kim Davis is a moron. So
Yes, and not the
that's
way
not
that-
even part of it.
Not the way that Tony Stark would devastate my mom.
Right. That would be a different kind, a totally
God.
different kind of
I
devastation.
hope she's not watching.
Bam! I can't
not
even
watching.
believe that you said that. All right, I'm going to throw this over to Stephanie. Tony Stark might devastate that Captain America iPhone case.
Oh, she stated her case.
Stephanie, who's on the chat?
Literally stated my case. That was really bad. Sorry, guys. Sam Green is in here. He was saying what's up with the lightsaber handle guards. I think he's referring. Was it Black Widow had like lightsabers? Star Drew, gotta love Star Drew. He's in here. He's a little upset that there's no Ant-Man showing up. And Jack Sat is saying they better not kill Captain America. But yeah, I'm Team Cap. I mean, you gotta go. I don't know. Tony Stark is always so full of himself. Captain America, just good-hearted. I'm going that way.
Well, you got any questions on there you want to throw off to? The entire team is ready to answer it. Let's go to a wide shot and show like we've just assembled our Avengers.
Ooh.
Bam, here we are.
That's a team we can.
We're ready
have.
for you. Ask us some good questions.
I'm waiting for a good one. So I did want to throw out a comment that somebody had said before. Sam Green said that he's been going to Comikaze since year one. He loves sci-fi, fantasy, video games, and anime, and he's got plans to go to Comikaze every year so long as he can. I don't know, you guys. I have a feeling that Sam Green may be getting a ticket to Comikaze.
Bam. Ooh, that just happened.
You know?
I got my tattoo to promote the first Comikaze.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wait, I'll show you.
Is it a kamikaze tattoo?
No, it's not. But Regina did take me. So that was I did that on camera.
Wow.
To promote Kamikaze the very
beautiful,
first year.
too.
That's
Thank
beautiful,
you.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
It should have been an
Thank you.
octopus.
Hurt a lot.
You should get in there free for lifetime.
That's right. That's
I
free
kinda-
for life.
I
Yeah, man.
actually kind of do.
Yeah, okay, well, never mind then.
All right.
It's something more than that then. Like,
Well, hey.
I don't know.
We were talking about Star Wars. I'm going to open it up to everybody. What do you think about BB-8. Now, is he like cooler than R2, or is he the next Jar Jar?
You talking about the little ball joint?
Yeah, the rolling
Yeah,
ball. the
oh,
little
he's
thing.
so
Oh
cute.
man,
Look,
I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
no one's going to be cooler than R2-D2. Nobody can possibly be cooler than R2-D2. And if you read what his lines would have been in the original script, had he been a character that speaks,
Right.
how can you not love him? But BB-8's adorable. I don't think he's going to be Jar Jar because he doesn't speak and he doesn't have a weird-ass accent.
Right.
saying.
Misa don't care about Jar Jar. But yeah,
no.
BB-8 is basically a bunch of beeps and scrimbly scrim. Look,
Yeah.
R2-D2's on a plane. They just designed a plane that looks like R2-D2.
Yeah,
R2-D2's
So
forever.
R2D2 is iconic. BB-8, I'm scared that it's going to be the segue of the Star Wars universe. You know?
Yeah, it is like a second.
I still want one. I just don't have $150.
I don't. I
it's-
just feel
it's
like
a
we haven't
ball,
seen
though.
enough. We haven't seen enough.
It's
To
a
know
super
if it's gonna be a
expensive
joke or
cat
not.
and dog toy right now. You gotta
I mean,
hack a
but it
remote
is.
control it. The dog is
It
freaking
is
out.
the
Yeah.
dopest dog toy.
Yeah,
though.
you got
like if they would have
$150
marketed it like that, like
Bam.
yo man, all you Star Wars fans, you want to get your pet into it, get this ball that rolls around.
Get your little baby
I'm all
Wookiee,
there.
your own little Wookiee to tear the arms
No,
off.
I've
this
put
thing.
Now that's
Leia
amazing.
buns on my
I
cats.
I don't even have a pet. So if I had a pet though,
You get a BB-8.
I would have got a BB-8.
No, what if they
Off
put an
top.
attachment on him and he was like a Roomba, like the world's best Roomba? Because your
I'm
dog would
sold.
chase him, and you just like
cool.
suck
Yeah.
up all the
Yeah.
text.
Give him
I'm
something
sold.
to do.
Someone hire this woman to create a BB-8 Roomba. I
That way
would get it
he
then.
can play with your animals and scare
Totally
them at
buy
the
that.
same
and
time.
still and clean your carpets.
Absolutely.
As
thought it had
droids
a
should.
function. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
that now the function is there.
There we go.
Roomba. Let's move on to something that's not Roomba related. Game of Thrones. Everybody loves that. Before Roombas existed. Jon Snow is dead. Long live Kit's slip up. So
Yeah.
Kit,
Yes.
the actor who plays Jon Snow, everyone who's watched Game of Thrones, and if you haven't watched the last season, you had to. Unless you live inside, you have to know what happened.
There's a spoiler thing. Like a certain number of weeks after the season ends,
Yeah.
you're allowed to talk about it.
Okay, well, Jon Snow is dead, but or is he? So supposedly, Kit was saying, "Hey, it's good to know I've got some actor. I'm on through the rest of all the rest of the seasons. They locked me into that contract. It's good to get that money." And so by saying that, kind of gave the hint that Jon Snow, even though he got stabbed, like 100 times in the chest and neck and everywhere else, and mist and weird special vapors were floating out as it cut to black. People were crying about Jon Snow being dead. Everyone who's watching the show, I haven't read the books yet, but I knew he wasn't dead. I was like, look at that weird mystical smoke coming out of the holes in his body. There's no way they're killing Jon Snow.
I think that was just because it was cold.
That's true. It's steam. But I think part of it. I've read all the books. I've read all the books. So,
Okay.
but I think.
No spoilers!
I have two, so I'm
yeah.
here with you.
But at this point,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Jenna,
even matter.
don't ruin it
because-
already. Stop
But
ruining it.
Spoiler.
That's not. But that's
No,
not in the.
it doesn't
the
matter
book
anymore.
stops then, right?
Yeah.
It's like at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that the way you set it up, just from a storytelling standpoint, if you set it up where you've got significant looks with Melisandre, you've got the Night King looking at him in a certain way, just as as a story writer, you can't not pay that off.
And he said ghosts. That was his last words.
Uh-huh.
I see, So I got a theory already,
Bam,
but I'm
right?
pretty sure my theory is just. I'm gonna hit my mic.
Is yours the warg theory that he's jumped into?
Yeah, but I mean, coming from the books, I mean, I don't want to. I could spill it.
No!
Don't do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it. But I think this doesn't come from the books. But my theory is, it just feels like, it's totally, to me, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yo, she rode into town. How long was that look they gave each other? Just
So long. And I know she wants to have sex
Exactly
with him.
like
But
that.
still.
It's like, all right, yo,
Yeah, and the
man.
shoulder.
Yeah.
It was so dramatic.
She came in on the horse, you know what I mean? He was,
He's
coming
not
off of not
dead,
being
or he's
epic.
going to be resurrected.
Right.
Kit Harington's too pretty to kill.
His hair upsets me. I just want to comb it. I did makeup and hair for too long. I just want to brush it.
See, I just want to wash his coat. I know that they haven't washed. I just want to put that
Oh my
thing in a
God,
washing machine.
It smells bad. It has to smell
Smells
bad.
through the TV.
I just want that
Right?
badass blade that he's got now.
That joint is dope.
Oh, yeah.
long claw.
I
Yeah.
would really,
Yeah, that's my
really
favorite part of
love
last season.
to see at the top of the new season Jenna just come in and over his lifeless body, just combing his hair.
I would
Sorry, guys.
do that.
Sorry, guys.
I'm available. Hire me. Hire me.
One of those
I will-
weird
I will-
nuns with the square headpieces.
No, that happened. Actually, that actually happened with Sam Rockwell. He had done Moon, and he had this like
Love
weird.
Moon.
Yeah, and I was interviewing him for something else for Choke, and he had his mustache all messed up, and he sat next to me, and he's doing this through the whole interview, and all I was thinking is, I have scissors in my car. I could just fix that for you. I have issues.
I'm gonna hire you. I want you to fly over to this head transplant guy and fix his hair because there's a guy
Nice segue.
who's
Crazy
basically,
way in the world.
yeah, like I want this guy's hair combed out once he's got a brand new body. Because this man, look at this man. This is guy got the state to actually sign off to allow him to have this doctor sever his head from his body because he's got some problems with his body to get a brand new physically fit body. This is like science fiction alive. This is Keith wanted to throw this down. Like what, Keith? Where did you find this?
This is in the Soviet Union. Soviet Union. This is in Russia. Holy moly! Well, soon it will be the Soviet Union too. It'll be the sequel nobody wants. It's in Russia, and this guy has, for 2 years, been trying to find a doctor who will do it, and a doctor finally stepped up, and it is scheduled for 2017, the world's first head transplant, and I am rooting for this. I like this more than the Mars thing. I think this would be amazing if they could pull this off, because then I don't have to go on a diet anymore.
Yeah, just get some Ryan Reynolds body. What's up?
Exactly.
Bam! Just happened.
Did we start poisoning hot people so that we could take their bodies?
Pretty good idea.
Yeah, but if you don't want your body to be done. I'm sorry. You don't want your body to be messed up by the time you get to it, though.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson from anime. I'm sorry.
No, I totally
So wait,
get it, totally.
some people might be like, man, I already got a new body scheduled for 2025. Give me all the drugs. Just double chugging whiskey. I'm burning through the liver as long as it lasts for 5 years.
I feel like we've all watched a lot of sci-fi.
Oh yeah.
It's messed with our brains.
I know.
Yeah.
What if they start? We were talking about this before the show. They start putting people's heads on dogs. You have a whole bunch of weird human hybrid dogs. And
We're
stuff.
so close to Matt Groening's Futurama.
So
We're
close.
Give me a jar.
But
Yeah.
I want to know the science behind this. I wonder if they're just going to try it and see what happens, because that would not be good.
Yeah.
That would not have good
I
results.
think that I honestly think. I mean, they've been talking about this now for what,
Ever?
2 years,
Yeah.
two or 3 years, especially with this specific patient. And me and John, we talked about this, and I feel like just put me on the head of a panther or something like that. You know what I mean? Do some next level stuff with me. I don't want to be a human again. I want to be something ill, man. I can think.
Right.
Or I'll either wait for that. Put me on a human in the meantime.
Right.
Or I will tell you this, I had my entire meniscus removed out of my left knee.
Right.
So when I want to be able to jump and dunk. Right?
Right.
I can't do that anymore. Put his head on the body of somebody that can dunk, though.
Yo,
that's
I want a
gibbon.
gibbon.
You feel something.
I want a gibbon, a body. That's what I want.
Oh,
the
yeah.
world's largest gibbon.
You got opposable thumbs,
I already
that's
got
good.
long arms. So I want super long arms where I can jump all spider-like and hang upside down real quick.
I feel
but I
like-
already got a giant head, so no matter how big the gibbon is, my head will be giant.
I feel like you guys are thinking too small. What if you wait till you perfect the science of bringing back dinosaurs and then get your head on a dinosaur?
Because I can't talk to chicks with a dinosaur.
Yeah,
body.
I don't know. There's a lot of dinosaur porn online right now.
You'd be like a little dinosaur with little tiny leg arms. Hey, come here for a minute. I want to talk to you. Get over here.
It's not working, man. Just take it.
You got
from
some
me.
little bird arms. Give me that sandwich. I'm too giant. I can't get in the bed.
Robot body.
Speaking
Robot body.
Robot body.
The
Yes.
chat
Not BB-8.
is all a chatter, talking about how this will affect furries.
Why did I know the child would go to furries? It's you guys, come on. Come
The
on.
dream is real.
We're talking about cool stuff, and you got to be how can I
Final
bugger someone in an animal outfit with my
get
real
rid
body?
of
We're talking about fake,
Metropolis.
real animal bodies, and you're talking about put a weird raccoon fake body on
No,
to have
they're
sex with
talking
someone else.
about making furries real.
What would you do? I mean, take a raccoon tail and surgically put that
No,
on your
actually,
body?
they're talking about actually cut your head off and put it on a fox body, and then have someone else cut their head off and put it on a kangaroo body, and then have sex.
And what you gonna do? Jump in the kangaroo's papoose or something like that?
Hey, why not? Put my head on a hummingbird, and then I'm inside. I can barely fly. I'm all weird. I can't support my giant head.
No, but do you realize
I mean, it
you
would be
got it.
transportation for life, though. You can sit outside, just chilling. You know what
You
I'm saying?
just started some sort of weird animal porn on Amazon.
I'm sorry, man. My
Let's
bad.
see what you did.
I blame Chase Conley. All right, Burning Man. Let's talk about porn. Burning Man. Has it jumped the shark? Burning Man, ladies and gentlemen. I got a lot of friends who are burners. They went out and had a great time. Everybody, we were talking about, everybody goes to Burning Man. They always come back. And I haven't gone to Burning Man
haven't
yet.
gone.
And my friends have been going. I've got many friends, and many of them gone for like 15 years. It's so incredible, John. You've got to experience at the time of my life. And I'm not saying that they didn't have the time of their lives, but I've done so many drugs when I was like 20, and I'm a lot older now. That I'm like, look, I don't want to be out in the desert on drugs with everybody
other
like
people doing drugs, man.
Yeah, just I'm good.
Come on,
I'm good.
man.
I'll watch the
college.
video.
Dude.
I know we went to college. It's like I'm too old for this. So I don't know. What do you Chase? You're a lot younger.
I mean, yeah,
what do you
that's
think
true.
of Burning Man?
But let me tell you, man, I ain't got no business at Burning Man. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing there for me. You know what I mean?
Right?
I'm not, when I'm like, I'm about to go I'm gonna do this drug right now. I'm not looking to go sit in like the desert with no urinals, no
Right.
showers, man. First off, I like to be clean, man.
Yeah.
No.
Drugs are already a dirty business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're sweating and all that
Yeah.
extra shit. No, I'm cool. I'm cool. I don't want to do drugs.
You know
man.
what goes
In the
together with
desert.
drugs? Clean
In the desert.
tiles. Like you're in the bathroom, shower, tiles.
Exactly. I can't, man. I need
pond.
amenities though. But that's because I don't know. I'm high maintenance or something. I
Hey.
guess. You
No,
know,
no,
the
I get
desert's
it.
just not my thing.
I
You
get
know,
it.
maybe if it was somewhere else, like I don't know, a 24-hour spa or something like that.
I would do it there.
Oh, I'm
Absolutely.
already
Burning
I'm
Man
in.
at Burke Williams.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
would be-
I'm down with that.
Steaming
Like
man.
Burning Man, but burning. Like, I've
Yeah.
got the burn.
Right.
A bunch of people,
Lifting
a
weights.
bunch of people don't know what Burning Man is.
What?
So,
Stephanie
if you don't-
Pressman, tell these fools what Burning Man is.
If you don't know what Burning Man is, it's like an art collective festival event that happens out in the middle of the desert once a year.
It's
So-
an experimental community that is formed spontaneously with the whole year of planning. And a whole bunch of people go out. It used to be all these artists would create all these great things. And then all these really rich people started coming because they wanted to do drugs and party with all the crazy artists. So you sort of have this weird thing going. I question how much people really love Burning Man. And everybody here will understand why with this comparison. We all go to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yep.
And we all come back and say it's the greatest thing ever. But when we're there, half the time we're miserable. Right?
Half the time?
Half the time we're
This
waiting in
year?
line, or like, oh my God, this person brought a double
than half.
stroller to walk down the main aisle. How could they do that?
Oh, I love it.
I
You know
lost
what?
my
No,
ticket for my
I-
autograph.
I'm like
No?
70%. I love it. 30%. It's a bothersome stuff. But the 30% is fun because then you get to chime on it with your friends. Like that stroller. Why don't they get a babysitter? It's like everybody. Yeah, I know. And then that guy just bombed me with his farts. I'm getting air bombed left and right. These people are just letting the cannons loose. I can't walk down. It's like so. It's fun to commiserate. But it's gotten crazy now. It's like San Diego Comic Con is so jam packed. It's like literally don't bother walking unless you want to walk all extra slow style like that.
Yep.
That's how you got to walk. Saturday,
I
Friday,
turn into a
Saturday,
demon.
walking. Yeah.
I scream at people. I elbow people. I hurt people this year.
Damn.
I absolutely hurt people. Because I work the whole time, and so like I'm either on a panel or I'm writing something. So I don't get to have fun.
You know what convention people don't get hurt by Jenna Busch at? Kamikaze.
Well, I have a table, so I don't have to hurt anyone.
How'd that guy segue? It's so smooth. It's
was
Keith
good.
Tralins, the CEO of Comikaze, ladies and gentlemen.
We're trained for these things.
That's
Speaking
right.
That's what
of
they
you
teach us in
guys,
business school.
we had a question from Chad Dyke. He wanted to know what you guys are looking forward to most at Comikaze.
I'm gonna beg off that one just because I know things. So what? I'm gonna give an answer that actually is near and dear to my heart. The kids costume contest is so much fun. It's for kids 12 and under, and they're the most adorable thing. We had so many like 3-year-old Avengers. It's just the great. I mean, you're looking at these kids and they're dressed up, and they're going to grow up to be glorious nerds, and they're amazing, and the energy's great. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'll say that.
You know what I'm looking forward to? The thing that differentiates, at least for me, Comikaze from every other comic book convention is all the vendors. There's so many different artists. And not just comic book artists, but people who build things, sculptures, clothes. There's all different kinds of artists who are selling their goods there. So it's a lot of fun. It's like one gigantic, cool nerd bazaar. So I always try to because I've been doing tables now for a long time, I break off from my booth and I always do like sections. Like, all right, I got 2 hours to rock around on this area and try to cover it. Because there's so many amazing, new, cool things to see. That's why I like Comikaze so much.
For me, I've been lucky enough to moderate a lot of panels on the main stage, and that's really my favorite thing because it was actually weird. My boyfriend came in with me, and I was going to moderate a panel with LeVar Burton, And he wandered off and he thought I was standing next to him because it was being broadcast. And I think that's the difference between like a big con where you have to go to specific rooms. Not that there aren't rooms for this, but with the big ones, you just kind of wander over to the stage and it's broadcast and everyone can see it and everyone can ask questions. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. The way they have the setups, like last year we had Kevin Smith introduced our panel for The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, and me and Holly Payne and Maria Moore were all there, and it was such a great experience because it's a big room, but then they have giant screens, so no one feels like they're missing out. So
You know what? I can talk about one thing that we haven't really talked too much about. We have, Comikaze Expo is really all about LA. This is LA's Comic-Con, right? This is our backyard show. We just happen to be the coolest, biggest city that has one, not counting New York. So, and of course we have the coolest, most creative people in the universe all living right here. So what we have this year is we have a whole, Stephanie and I have been working on this. We have built out a whole performance track that is going to spotlight local performers, actors, singers, dancers, comedians, improvisers, and you could go and sit and just be entertained Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and never leave that room and just, watch nothing, a cavalcade of entertainment. I'm really excited about that too because we're going to get to showcase hopefully someone books like a job out of Comikaze Expo. That would be amazing, right, Steph?
Yeah, that's the first time I think we've announced it. So yes, I'm so looking forward to that. But I also do really love the panels too. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But also something that's really cool about Comikaze that I don't think we've said yet is what I love about it is there's space. You can breathe at Comikaze. You can't do that at a lot of the other conventions. You feel very claustrophobic. At Comikaze, it's chill and you can move and you can breathe and you get to see a bunch of really cool things and not be so ridiculously overwhelmed by
B.O.
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
You would think this show is sponsored by Comikaze with the way we're just
No, I know.
about it.
I was about to say, like, such a great question, and we all got to talk about how amazing Comikaze is, and this is called Comikaze All Year Long. Thank you for that amazing question. Let's get back to some stuff here. Star Wars Force Awakens. I was saying earlier how, I think it needs to be great because I don't want to get Jar Jarred. What do you guys feel about? Let's combine it with Batman vs Superman. That also needs to be great.
Absolutely.
Because why does that need to be great? DC is trying to reverse engineer the way Marvel created their cinematic universe. Marvel popped off Iron Man. Before 2008, nobody except us nerds knew who Iron Man was. Yeah. We would be like, yo, that's Shellhead. Ask anyone on the street who Iron Man is and be like, what are you talking about? Or they would just not know. Yeah. If they had kids, it might be talking about, oh, my kid watches Iron Man. Other than that, no one on the planet knew who Iron Man was. Everyone knows who Batman
except
and
for fans
Superman.
of Ghostface Killer.
All right. Well, and they also Doctor Doom. There's some, there's some crossover back and forth music and other cool things. But I'm talking about like Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America. Bam, you got the Avengers. Now, now you got Ant-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy. Some weird characters that we're like seeing really cool stuff. We never thought you'd see a talking tree and a rocket raccoon. And made over $100 million for opening weekend. So now you got DC's behind. They had Green Lantern where the guy had to fight a giant poo cloud. That movie sucked. So they had so many bad, horrible films. So now they're like, Zack Snyder came out. I loved Man of Steel. I'm one of those people. I thought it was a really great film. I don't care. Kevin Costner doing that hand-reachy thing. There's some problems in it, whatever. The movie was good. It had a lot of action. It brought back Superman the way he should be. And so I'm looking forward to Batman v Superman. And now they've got Ben Affleck. I was one of those people when they said Ben Affleck, I was like, all right, bring it on. Everyone's like, that's horrible. And you got to remember, haters, relax. You got to relax. Everybody hated on Michael Keaton. Everybody hated on Heath Ledger when they announced him as a Joker. Now you guys dress up like him. Y'all got to just relax till the movie comes out. Then you can hate on it if it deserves a hate. But Zack Snyder and DC have a giant film that they have to get over on us. It has to be great. Absolutely. It can't just be good. They're introducing Wonder Woman. They're introducing the new Batman. I heard they might be introducing a lot of other characters. Obviously, Aquaman's in it. Is Flash, Cyborg, Green Lantern?
Characters? Because that's going to be the thing for me.
Besides Wonder Woman.
Is how they handle Wonder Woman. I have no issue with Gal Gadot at all.
Right.
So, because I've only seen little bits of her work. So if she's awesome, cool. But that's what I want to see, how you handle that. And they're going to give us a female-fronted superhero movie before Marvel is. So, I don't know. That's going to probably do it for me.
What do you think, Chase?
I don't know. I think that, for me, Superman's a tall order. I mean, mainly because I think, the character was conceptualized at a time when it's not necessarily relevant anymore. Right. You know, I don't think he fights for the same thing anymore. It was always a tough sell for me. Also, same thing with like Man of Steel. I mean, he was murderous Superman. I mean, he murdered people. He was
on purpose. I'll support. I'll be like, look, he was Superman for one day. He was doing the greatest American hero stuff.
I get that.
And then Zod shows up like, give me him.
I get that.
I mean, he didn't even have time to get his stuff together.
That. I agree. But at the same time, you know, maybe because I like continuity is a huge thing for me. And I was like, but why is Jor-El, why he got an Australian accent? Like, I don't understand. Like, they speak.
That always drives me
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? I don't get that. Like,
Hang on a second, because it's
Australian.
Russell Crowe and he's an actor and it's made up.
Nah, that's
All
true.
right, I give up.
That's true.
All right.
That's true. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit of a hater. You know what I'm saying? But I think that cinematography-wise, I thought it was fun. I thought it was by far one of the ones that got it more accurate in terms of just his sheer power level and his scale compared to
One of the
everyone
best
else.
super powered super fight scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Very cool, and the cast was good. You know, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little apprehensive about Ben Affleck, but I think that from what I've seen so far, it looks cool. And more than anything else, man, I'm so tired of male protagonists all the time. I'm burned out on it, man. So like, if they can kind of put something else forward in the forefront after that, which I guess would be Wonder Woman since they introduced her. And you know, what's the actress name?
Gal Gadot.
I'm not gonna repeat that. You know what I'm saying? But she's got I mean, she has screen presence from like the Fast and the Furious franchise and stuff like that. So I know that given the right script, that it could be something big. So you know, I'll say I'm 70-30, which I probably don't want to admit. I'm like 70-30. I'm looking forward to it, to see what happens.
Keith, what do you think? I mean, we're talking Star Wars, Force Awakens, and Batman v Superman. Give us your opinion on both.
So, I mean, J.J. Abrams, I have the utmost faith in J.J. Abrams. He's never steered me wrong. I've liked everything that he's done. So I'm not really worried about Star Wars. I'm actually very excited about it. Batman vs. Superman is pulling me in because I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan. I saw it and was actually very, very happy because I think Ben Affleck is one of the most underrated, underappreciated actors in Hollywood today, even with everything that he's done with some amazing movies. I just think what I guess isn't sitting well with me is we seem to be in this age of the anti-hero, which really fits the Marvel universe, but doesn't fit Superman. And Batman, up until Burton's Batman, didn't fit Batman either. And there's a lot of these characters are very hopeful and are very bright in the DC universe. And I don't know if I like seeing them be put through the anti-hero ringer, which Superman basically was. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Superman's credo is never again, as opposed to I never will. But that's very dark, right? That's red in his ledger, to use Black Widow's phrase. So I'm excited. It needs to be great to get me through that. So it does need to, I think they need to really do something special with it.
No, really good points. Jenna, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, like I said, it's going to depend on what they do with Wonder Woman for me. I think it has to be good because you do have the whole Marvel history, and I think they are playing catch up right now. And you know, I've been a fan of Marvel. Like, I started with Marvel. I didn't start with Batman. I love Batman, but I didn't start with Batman. I started with X-Men. And you guys were talking about that before. It was always Storm, but the reason it was Storm is because I was a little kid and I wanted a snow day. I lived in New York and I thought Storm could give me a snow day. So that's what it was. But yeah, and I mean, as far as Star Wars, I'm not worried. I have seen some things that I'm not supposed to have seen.
Tell us.
I will say nothing or I will be shot. But what I have seen looks really cool. It looks really, really cool, and I don't think they'll make a mistake like that again. I think that's the thing about, you know, Star Wars versus DC Universe is that Star Wars kind of disappointed us. I know I'm going to get hate mail for this, but obviously I hated the prequels, and I had to just watch them again for the book, and yeah, so no, they don't exist. So I think they have to make it good.
Yo, we got a black Jedi too, besides Mace Windu.
Right?
Oh, I got
that's
to
true.
interview him.
And I worked with him on Major Lazer, yo. He was the
sweet.
voice of Major Lazer's sidekick, man. So, you know, I got personal stake in that movie's success. And,
He's
like,
cool.
JJ has never let me down yet either.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool. And Black Jedi, that's cool.
He's definitely cool.
I'm in there.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
I'm in
And
there.
I like everything I've seen from the trailer. Like I said, maybe cry.
Yeah.
And I love
Oh, I
that.
ugly cried.
I think, you know, that's what I'm so excited about.
Yeah.
I don't want to be crushed like a big giant punch to the face,
Yeah.
gut, everything, walk out crying for a different reason.
Yeah.
What do you think,
I
Stephanie?
do want one Jar Jar cameo. I want one Jar Jar.
Stop,
like a
Keith.
Jar
That's
Jar
actually based on
credit
Google.
scenes.
cameo.
Hey, I've got a good
Yeah.
cameo. His severed head in space.
I'll take it.
Floating by a window, just Jar Jar's severed, frozen head. Misa dead.
guys-
Just somebody crushing, some giant creature just squeezing the life juice out of Jar Jar's, wringing the juice out of his head for a soup that everyone's going to drink. Stephanie, what do you think?
I am the fan that is always a hopeless optimistic. I will be optimistic about everything until I see it. We don't, but the studios hire and put their money in people that they believe are going to do good for the franchises. So let's just have faith in them that they're going to do a great job. So that's what, until I see it, I'm not going to be negative about it.
All right. Jennifer, what do you think?
Okay, so you're absolutely right about like it has to be great because of the way they're reverse engineering everything, right? If this movie flops and it's got everybody in it, what does that mean for their slate of solo films?
Right.
Right. I personally need it to be great for this specific reason. I'm not a big fan of the Nolan trilogy. Like I'm a fan of them as a they're good movies with the exception of the third one. But they weren't Batman to me. You know, he's just a dude who's just he put on a suit and he's kind of weepy, right? And so I need a Batman that is faithful to the comic material. And that trailer gave me hope. That trailer turned me into the optimist that Stephanie is. Because, you know, all the little Easter eggs in it, the fact that Robin costume harkens to the Jason Todd Robin. So are they going to bring that into the story? And, you know, all of it is just, it got me excited. But then, you know, Jesse Eisenberg started talking as Lex Luthor, and then
The red coats are
gosh,
the red
that
capes
was
are
like that was a low point.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it will be great because it has to be great. But also just because I don't know that trailer.
Well, I'll say
Gave
this.
me
I mean,
hope.
Keith brought up a really good point. Like, you know, there are people who don't like the Man of Steel because it was a darker version
Yes.
of Superman. But I personally feel like they tried that with Superman Returns. They tried to go back to what people perceive
Good
as the
point.
magic
Right.
point of what Superman the movie and the Christopher Reeve and the Donner version of Superman, but they forgot to bring new stuff to the material. So when you go back and retread something as an homage or something, but you're not bringing something new to a brand new audience, you got to remember all those people, like including me, I grew up with that Superman. It's not that I didn't love that Superman, but I'm an adult now, I want something new. What about those kids who are young now? They probably watched that Superman already. You know, maybe the Man of Steel isn't made for a 10-year-old, but it's definitely made for a 12-year-old. So it's like those formative years change people. And I think the world that we live in now, Batman, we already had the 1966 Batman. We had the funky, weird Joel Schumacher Batman. Before that, we had, in the comic book world, we had the fun Batman that slowly turned darker and darker until Frank Miller brought us the Dark Knight. That's why Tim Burton's Batman is dark, is because 5 years earlier, the entire comic book industry went through this change with Watchmen and Miracle Man and Swamp Thing. And it was basically Frank Miller and Alan Moore like combining forces to
Grant
destroy everything. Well, Grant Morrison a little bit later, but I'm just talking like 85, 86. And also everyone was hitting everything on point. John Byrne, Chris Claremont, Walt Simonson, Howard Chaykin, I mean, Marv Wolfman, George Perez. DC and Marvel at that time were just changing. Crisis on Infinite Earths, everything in the comic book world was just explosive and amazing and fun and new. And then, you know, people who didn't read comics back then, I still got beat up for reading comics back then. Now everybody's a nerd. So I'm always like, nah, hang on a second. You got to know your history before you even talk to me. So I'm that dude. But movies are finally caught up is what I'm trying to say. So Ben Affleck, who is also a lover of the Dark Knight, the Frank Miller Dark Knight, Zack Snyder, also a giant fan of that. They're bringing that, which is what I think everyone really wanted, even back then, even 1989 when Tim Burton did that Batman, everyone was ready at that time for that Frank Miller Batman, but they still had a little bit of that, had the Prince music, had Jack Nicholson, like a little, you know, even though it was cool, it still had that like jokey element. It's taken us all these years to get to that DC world that existed in 1988, 1989, 90. So with all those things being said, Superman was a little too dark. Is he actually going through a transformative process where he will become the Superman that you're talking about by trial and error? Did he kill Zod? Yes, to save our world. So, I mean, there's things that, in the comic book and a lot of other writers, like, Superman doesn't kill, this and that. It's like, well, guess what? He did, and now he's going to have to pay for it because no one trusts him. They're like, look at that giant superpowered alien. It brings up all these amazing things that we're forced to think and talk about that we never had to talk about in comic books or in the movies. So that's what fascinates and excites me is, like, they're bringing these kinds of bigger issues to these superheroes, and by doing that, it makes the story, it grounds it a little bit more, and you need that with someone who's all-powerful. Otherwise, you don't care. Like, how are you gonna relate to a dude who floats around and has laser eyes? You have to care about him. You have to empathize with him. So that's what I'm hoping that this movie has a little bit of it. So that's why I say it has to be great, not only just to kick off all their other characters, but to make Superman matter for the rest of us, as well as bring that Batman that we all wanted, that I agree with you. Dark Knight Rises for me was not the Batman that I wanted. This seems to be the Batman that I want. So that's why I'm like, needed to be great. Star Wars, we already talked about. It has to be great. But I agree, J.J. Abrams, he's really not, except for the last season of Lost, which I know he didn't have anything to do with, but it's horrible.
So bad.
If you watch Lost, it ends at season 5. Whenever the ending is, I won't even ruin it, but don't watch the 6th season. That's my opinion.
What's the spoiler rule though? After like 5 years,
Nah,
I
I
want
wouldn't.
to
It's okay,
save
it's okay.
people time.
I know,
like-
but just know you just say this ends. The 5th season is ending.
Yeah.
It is an ending.
Yeah.
You just don't have to. Just don't do it. You'll get angry.
You definitely.
Or I
get
have friends who are
upset.
like, "It was good," and I'm like, "No."
No.
Are you serious? We can't be friends anymore.
I know it's
No.
like we're walking that line. Don't make me rip the paper up. No, but I'm always like, I give people a pass on Lost. You got to give them some passes. So, all right, guys, this has been a lot of fun. Keith, do you have any last words to say to everybody?
No, other than Comikaze Expo, this whole show is not supposed to just be about Comikaze Expo. It's supposed to be about what matters to us, fans of the geek and nerd world. And that's what Comikaze Expo also is. So we would love for you guys to join us every month right here as we do this show, but also at Comikaze Expo itself, October 30th through November 1st at the LA Convention Center. Tickets are available now. We have amazing announcements. This is LA's Comic-Con. You are not going to find a more talented backyard show anywhere than right here. So please come and join us, and we will keep this going, and we will have more and more guests and take a little bit of that special show and give it to you online every month. So thank you.
Stephanie, any amazing questions come through?
Yeah, actually, we had a few people asking, including Jeff, who's in our audience. They wanted to know how Chase got involved in animation and where his inspiration of style came from.
Oh man, that's a complex question.
You've got 30 seconds.
Yeah, I got you. No, that's cool. I'll paraphrase. I think that it's an amalgamation of everything I've looked at over my years, which was pretty much Marvel Comics, Wizard Magazine, which is a huge thing, which kind of introduced me to everything, including what the comic book contemporary, the main guys, the contemporaries of that era that I looked up to, like Joe Mad, who has a Kickstarter right now. Please go support Battle Chasers, yo. It's gonna be the dopest game. Yeah. And just because of how the influence he had on the generation, you gotta give some money to it, man. I think that if you don't, then you're doing a disservice
Joe
to
Mad is
yourself.
crazy talented.
Dude,
I have the
amazing.
original Battle Chasers every issue.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I think that it was that. And but mainly, I did comics. I've been working professionally since I was 19, man. And what I realized when I was in comic books was that I wasn't able to illustrate the things that influenced me content-wise. So what I started to do was I started to draw the things that made me happy. And in doing so, I remember hearing this Bobby Chew live stream. This is before live stream, actually. This is way back. He was making YouTube videos. And he was like, yo, man, draw what makes you happy, because that's how I got noticed. So I started doing that. Of course, it actually happened, man, because people see that you care that much more about that. It actually shows in you being able to do that. So I had friends that were peers, so to speak, that had been working in animation. I was still doing comics. I went to South Korea in 2010. I got back, and right when I got back, I got a job offer, and mainly because they were like, yo, you're in the mecca of pretty much where we've outsourced our shows to for like the last 40 years or something like that, maybe 50. And then they see my portfolio. And then Dave Johnson, amazing artist. You know what I'm saying? I always shout him out.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's tired of me saying this.
Yeah, Dave Johnson's the best cover artist, and he's not just a cover artist.
Yeah,
He's
man.
an amazing
Yeah,
artist.
shout out to Dave Johnson, man. Like, so I went to visit my boy LaShawn Thomas, who also is getting ready to do something really big, man. Look out for the press release. Just Google it. You'll find it.
He ran a
coming up.
successful Kickstarter just last year.
Just now. So basically, I got a job offer because Dave Johnson was like, yo, this style does not work for me, which was for Black Dynamite
Right.
season 1, and was like, you know what? I know this cat that can do this. I was trying to get into storyboards already, like 2 or 3 years beforehand, and then the rest is history. I got the job, and then I've been rolling ever since then, man. So
So it definitely
pretty much
helps
what
if
happened.
anybody wants to do stuff that like Chase, which is like Chase does morning like sketch drawings that he'll post on Facebook. I'm like, how can someone be that talented? I hate this guy sometimes, and I love him because it's just
I
like
appreciate it.
it's so amazing, and it's like a gift that he gives to all of his friends in the morning. Like, I just drew this crazy weird little sketch. You're like, oh, that's so good. And I always appreciate that. But if you want to have a talented, even a half of a chance to meet and do the things that Chase does, you got to get in the game. You got to know and become friends with people who are doing the thing.
Networking, and gearing your portfolio to what you're actually trying to do as a job. Because I think that you can only take that. I do what I like to draw. I draw what I like to draw so far. I mean, you have to fit into what they need for a job. So if you can kind of like figure out what that is, and then I know it's always like a checks and balances that you have to do with yourself. Like, am I sacrificing my integrity for this by doing this or whatever? Just try to find a happy medium. And I think that if you're doing justice to yourself, then it's only a matter of time.
And put your money where your mouth is.
Absolutely.
This man is always drawing,
Dude.
and every
I need
day he
sleep
gets
right now.
better. No, he never sleeps. He never sleeps. That's the other amazing skill. This man does not need sleep. So, definitely great question. We got another one?
That I think. There is one. DC is always good at cartoons. They said, "What's everyone's favorite DC cartoon?"
Ooh.
DC
cartoon. I answer that real quick, yo. Bruce Timm's original Batman the Animated Series
Yeah.
in the 90s, man. Leaps and bounds beyond anything that I've ever experienced in terms of influence. I mean, I think now he still works at Warner. That's how trill that is. He's still a huge voice over there, and every single person in that production, staff, all the way down, has been influenced by the things that he's done.
gonna
So
say-
I can't say anything less than that.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
and Brave
say-
and the Bold.
That
Brave and
was
Bold,
awesome.
that was fun. Yeah, I like, if we're talking DC, I personally, the most recent DC animation that I thought blew me away was we were talking about The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns, that 2-part adaptation of the comic book series. They really put a lot of
Very
love into
faithful.
that. So they're very faithful, very well animated, because like a lot of those DC movies are like, they're not all that. They like skimp on the budget. This one they didn't. And Jay Oliver, I want to give a shout out to him. He did a great
shout out
job
Jay.
directing that. Fantastic movie. For myself, I love Ren and Stimpy. I love crazy, insane animation, so that's what I'm into.
If we're talking about DC animated movies, Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker.
Yo, that's
That was
so
also
I forgot
fantastic.
about that, man.
Yeah.
Right?
good.
Yeah,
So
let's
dark,
that's
so
a joint
good.
right
Return of the Joker's
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
and Mask of the
I forgot about
Phantasm.
that.
Because
Yes,
if you're
Mask of
talking
the
about the
Phantasm.
series, then those movies were also just next level every
Yeah, it's
time
just
they
next
released
level.
it.
It's just
Yeah.
leveled up. But
Yeah.
I consider that part of that.
That's
same
part of it,
thing.
yeah.
But even Batman Beyond, that's still like
Yeah.
it's from that Bruce Timm tree. It's just it's just in the future.
Yeah, a tree that keeps on giving.
Yo, keeps on giving, man.
Right.
They're gonna keep
What,
going.
what was the one with the little
forever.
thing that was in a bat suit, like bat?
Batmite.
Batmite. That I'm going with Batmite.
My bad.
How about you, Jenna?
Oh no, Brave and the Bold.
Oh, Brave and the Bold, you
Yeah.
were-
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Those are the questions. You're going to have to come back October 20th for our next episode of Comikaze All Year Long. We're going to have a lot of other guests. You're going to see these people here at Comikaze if you go October 30th to November 1st at the LA Convention Center. Get your tickets online for Comikaze and say hi to all these people here and interact with everybody. It's a lot of fun. I mean, that's why I'm hosting this, because I love Comikaze. I love Regina. I love everything that she's done to make this become an amazing event. I'm so happy that Keith is involved, being the CEO and running everything. Stan Lee got his name on, what was it, the second year or the third year in, he became involved.
Stan came the first year and at the show said, I've got to be a part of this. And,
Right on.
And not just Stan, but also Elvira.
Right, so Stan Lee, the living legend, the creator of Spider-Man, the co-creator of so many of our favorite superheroes, and Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, come on. Who doesn't
we
want to
are
get
the-
bitten by her?
We are the pop culture show that's actually owned by pop culture icons.
That's right. And I'll see you guys. I will see you guys October 20th. I want to give everyone a chance to sign off and give us like where you can find people like Stephanie. Where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter at Steph Pressman with a PH.
Jenna Busch, where can people find you online?
I am at Jenna Busch, B-U-S-C-H, like the beer, not the president. I'm on Instagram, same place. Legion of Leia is at Legion of Leia, pretty much everywhere. And you can watch my Most Craved every week on craveonline, coming soon.net, and Superhero Hype.
Awesome. Chase, where do people find you online?
You can find me I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I think I'm on DeviantArt, Tumblr as well. If you just search Saint Chase for all of that, SaintChase, you can find me. Also, real quick, shout out to the homie Anthony Piper. You can find him at Trill League at Facebook. So, boom.
Right, that's a brand new project.
Yeah, man.
So
It's
we're
gonna
looking
be
really
dope.
good. Jennifer, where can people find you?
On Facebook, it's facebook.com/StreetFighterHigh. It's an old throwback to something I used to do. And on Twitter at Zhang, and you can catch all the amazing shows on Twin Galaxies Live at tglive.com 24 hours a day.
Awesome. Keith, where do people find you online?
Comikaze Expo, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's at Comikaze Expo. Go ahead and look it up and make sure you say hello to me and Regina.
And I'm Jon Schnepp. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, just at Jon Schnepp, and at TDOSLWH.com. Check out my documentary, The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened. Go to the website, www.TDOSLWH.com. You can buy a digital download, you can get a Blu-ray, or come to Comikaze October 30th, November 1st. I'll be there sitting at a booth with all the Blu-rays, posters and madness. I'll throw stuff at you. Let's get crazy. It's been a great time. We've been here at the stream.tv doing Comikaze all year long. I'll see you next month.
Thanks for tuning in. It's your believers to stay on Comikaze all year long. Join us again on October 20th, and special thanks to our friends at InfoList.com.
Thank you guys for having that patience.